What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show here on Sherdog.com. And today I'm very, very happy to be joined by one of the greatest lightweights of all time, Benson Henderson, before his Bellator 285 fight here in Ireland against Peter Queally coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Benson, I know, I'm Benson and family, I should say, you're joined by here. How are you today? I really appreciate you joining me.
No problem, man. No problem. Doing pretty well. Another day in the life.
Another day in the life, indeed. It's obviously a few weeks out for the fight now. What stage of the preparations, I suppose, are you at right now?
Yeah.
It's so long.
It's been a while. So, not in training camp just yet. Still, September 23rd, still a ways away. I don't really do too long extended training camps. They have those guys do like an 8-week or 12-week training camp. That's forever. I get too banged up, too beat up doing 8-week, 12-week training camp. So my training camps are normally right around 5 weeks or so. So still not in training camp just yet.
Is that down mostly to that experience? You already have done it, kind of. You don't need to learn those skills anymore. You already have the skills. It's just kind of pointing them out to get to that date.
Yeah, not my first time doing it. That's true. Not my first time doing it.
I will ask you about the, obviously, 4-fight deal you just signed, and you talked about it being your last deal, I suppose, in your career. What was the decision around that? Kind of supposed to stay with Bellator, but also to kind of talk about it being your last 4 fights?
Well, I knew it was going to be my last 4 fights. My wife, who just turned pro, we knew she was going to turn pro pretty soon, and it's going to be her chance to shine. It's going to be her chance to get more of all the attention on her. So I'll be at home taking care of the kids, doing all that sort of stuff.
4 more fights.
Yeah, 4 more fights. But after that, all the attention, my wife will be able to concentrate more on training, and then I'll concentrate more on taking care of the kids.
I was going to ask you about that, actually, like family. How big a part family is? I remember even like back in your fight against Masvidal and stuff. You know, your mother was there, and obviously you have the kids with you there, and your wife is fighting now as well. How big of the decision, I suppose, is family to you?
Family is the most important. Everything you do in life is, I'm biased in my opinion. Everything you do in life should be for your family, right? People want to make money, they want to do this, they want to do that. Why do they want to do that? It should be so you can take care of your family. You can spoil family. What's the use of all of it, everything? What's the use of it if you're not having your family to enjoy it with? Go to Bora Bora, go for an amazing vacation, go do this, go do that. You go there by yourself and hang out by yourself. It's pretty lame. Not very much fun. You want to go to the Super Bowl and go watch this and go do this and go Super Bowl all by yourself. That's not very much fun. No one really likes that too much. So for me, family is everything. Family is the most important. You know, being able to take my family to Ireland, being able to make this a family event, my wife fighting, all of it is something special to me. I
remember the last time I spoke to you was in Ireland before the Miles Jury fight, and you had your book with you, and I said you told me you got a bit of time away from the family so you could read. I suppose you're probably not doing as much reading now because you have too much family time, maybe. But first of all, what book are you reading now, if you are reading one, and bringing the family with you? Is that a big thing like that you hadn't done before that you kind of want to do now?
Well, it's nice. At this point, at this stage, I am able to bring my family with me. They get a chance to explore and see Ireland and see the parts of the world that not a lot of people, kids their age, get to experience. So I do definitely enjoy that. The book I'm currently reading, I just finished one. It was Jim Butcher, the Harry Dresden Files. And then I'm just starting, the next one I'm going to start pretty soon is God's Demon. It's a sci-fi fantasy novel. But I haven't started it just yet. I literally just finished my book, I think 2 days ago. So,
as someone who kind of, I suppose not a lot of MMA fighters you'd see like reading books or being maybe, it's a harsh thing to say, I suppose, but being more intellectual. Would you consider yourself an intellectual around mixed martial arts and around the game in general, not just your own game? Because I was speaking about it recently on a podcast about the kind of the meta game of MMA and how it's changing and whether specialization is a thing that can even be possible in MMA anymore. Do you look at kind of the worldwide game of MMA while deciding which way you're going to fight in your upcoming fights?
I don't think I would consider myself intellectual. I think that there's a lot of fighters who love to read, who enjoy reading. Not a lot of fighters read like science fiction, fantasy novels. That might be the dork in me, but so I think a lot of fighters read. A lot of fighters enjoy like the not self-help books, but the self-betterment books, self-improvement books, how to be mentally stronger, all that sort of stuff. Trying to open up their minds and stuff like that. But I don't think quite as many are as big a nerds as I am and read science fiction and fantasy and stuff like that.
That's fair enough. What do you think about the specialization in MMA? Like, actually, last time I spoke to you, I asked you about jiu-jitsu and the fact it's not maybe as useful at the top level of MMA as it once was. Do you think we'll see specialists as much anymore? Like we see Alex Pereira at the moment in the UFC, and we see obviously Bellator signing a lot of wrestlers debuting. Is that possible, do you think, for someone to get to the top of the game being a specialist anymore?
I think you can be a specialist, but being a specialist means you're so good at the one thing. You can't lack. You can't not be good at the other arts. But I think I'm biased in my opinion. To be a specialist means you have to be great at wrestling. Because if you're the best, most amazing, awesome Pereira stand-up guy, you have to be able to wrestle and get guys to not take you down. If you're a great, amazing, awesome jiu-jitsu practitioner, you better be able to wrestle and take guys down. If you're a wrestler and you want to just wrestle guys and that's all you want to do, you better be able to work on your wrestling and take guys down. So, of course, I'm biased. Yeah, I'm a little bit biased, but in my opinion, wrestling is king.
Indeed.
So you have to be. So you have to, even if you want to use your stand-up, even if you want to just stand there and strike and bang and punch and kick people, you got to be able to stop people from taking you down.
Yeah.
So that's wrestling defense, takedown defense, even if it's just good footwork. You have to have good footwork. A lot of good wrestling is good footwork. So you got to have good footwork to not get taken down.
Yeah,
to use to capitalize your amazing stand-up.
Mm-hmm. I would ask you about your game because watching your fights, there's obviously improvements that you've made throughout your career, but I feel like you fight a very similar type of metagame, your own kind of metagame throughout your career. How difficult is that to stick to the game? Like, because I imagine even after maybe a loss, you go back to camp and maybe there's something new that comes up. You're hitting a guillotine all the time. How tough is it to stick to your game and to continue to stick to the same game throughout your whole career?
I think for me, the mental approach, being able to stick to your game plan, it can be hard for a lot of guys. I think that's the really hard part for a lot of guys is being able to stick to a game plan. Be intelligent, be smart. Because not only do you have to have the physical tools, not only do you have to have the cardio to be able to get it done, but you have to be able to be mentally strong enough to stick to the game plan, whatever that game plan is, whether you intend on wrestling a guy, whether you intend on standing with the guy, wherever the case may be. You have to be able to stick to the game plan and have the tools to actually follow through with it. But that's the hard part. That's something that a lot of people lose sight of.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Last couple of questions. I really appreciate the time.
No worries.
The last time you were here in Ireland, you after the Miles Jury fight, I know you were a little bit disappointed with how that fight went, and you said you wanted to come back. When this fight came up, was that a big part of it, that you wanted to come back to Ireland and kind of maybe right the wrongs of that time?
I definitely felt like I did not provide the Irish fans as much of a show as I wanted to, as much of a spectacle, as much of a good quality entertainment. Fighting is first and foremost you want to get your hand raised and that sort of stuff, but at the same time we are sports entertainers. So you have to entertain, and Irish fans are awesome. They're amazing. Sweet Caroline, the whole freaking place singing along, freaking karaoke and stuff. But you guys are crazy. You guys are super drunk and super crazy. Ketchup hot dog? Yes, ketchup hot dog. But it was just awesome fans, and I was like, after, I was like, oh man, you guys deserve a better show than that. I owe you guys one. Good, high five.
And obviously,
okay.
fighting Peter Queally here in one of Ireland's own, and he walks out, to Zombie by the Cranberries, and the whole crowd do the karaoke, get behind him. Are you looking forward to that fight? When the name Peter Queally came up, was it a guy you had on your radar, and how much are you looking forward to fighting him?
Well, because he had fought for the belt. He had those good matchups with good matchups with Pitbull. Of course, he's definitely on my radar of a possible matchup. Excuse me. I think being in Ireland again was attractive to me. I knew I owed the Irish fans some quality entertainment. And this time I get even 25 minutes of entertainment, not just 15 minutes of entertainment. But then having a hometown guy, I think it will give them even more entertainment. Put back, Koa. No, put back. That's for Nightly. It'll give them fighting the hometown guy will give them even more quality entertainment because they'll want me to lose. Understandable, no problem. And so it'll just be that much more of entertainment for them.
Indeed. Benson, I appreciate the time. I know the Irish people will be behind Peter Queally, but they have great respect for you as well and what you've done throughout your career. And I think they'll cheer him in, but I don't think they'll be booing you in. So I'm looking forward to seeing that fight and appreciate the time today, Benson. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. No problem. I'm very excited to come out to Ireland again. We're going to bring the family out. We're going to, and we're going to stay a whole week afterwards to go check out some of the castles and see the rest of what Ireland has in store for us.
You need to get out of Dublin anyway. That'll be the first thing I tell you. Get down south, go down to Cork and Limerick and Kerry and the other places and see the real Ireland.
All right, Limerick. It's on our list. It's on our list.
Yeah, is it? Are you coming to Limerick? Really? Is that on the list?
You're right now. You are added to my list.
Oh, great!
If you say it's a good place for the kids to go visit,
it absolutely is. We're the home of the All Ireland hurling champions. I'm here in Limerick right now, so I asked. It's the best place to come. You have to come down here. So I'll meet you. I'll meet you for a cup of tea when you come out here. But I appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Thank you.